So I guess the big one for me today, folks, is the fact that there's been an agreement by most of the journalists that Liverpool aren't looking for a DM now. That Liverpool have signed Endo, and that means in this window that we're not looking for a defensive midfielder. And that confuses me a little bit, because I've seen journalists state just last night that Decore was still top of Liverpool's transfer list. But if we don't need an out-and-out defensive midfielder, why would Decore still be top of the list? Maybe Klopp views him as somebody he can use in other parts of the pitch, I don't know. But I really do get the feeling we're edging towards a Ryan Gravenberch signature if Bayern admit that they're willing to sell. That's where I feel this is leading. Sophie and Amrabat, well, you can put that one in the bin. Liverpool have moved away from him. And I told you this before, Fabrizio or anybody else over the past couple of days. But yes, Liverpool have moved away from Sophie and Amrabat. So what's going to happen tonight? Well, we're going to go through and see what we think. Calvin Phillips has been linked today by TalkSport and a couple of others. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think Calvin Phillips is the right signing and why I don't think he's worth the money that he would potentially be going for. This video is sponsored by Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. Manscaped is known for their elite bald skills, a little bit like myself. But with the beard hedger, they're helping people notice that pretty face too. Our friends at Manscaped are now focusing on their off-the-ball movement with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The Beard Hedger face trimmer is a waterproof, cordless trimmer which has 20 hair cutting lengths, all with just one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The trimmer has a titanium coated T-blade which is tough on hair but smooth on your face. Just because Manscaped have moved away from the groin doesn't mean they've lost track of the ball, unlike Joe Gomez. They still have the Lawnmower 4.0, the best hygiene tool to help you keep the grass on the pitch the perfect length. The Lawnmower 4.0's ceramic blade reduces cuts and nicks in your most sensitive areas. Unlike me, the trimmer's battery lasts 90 minutes, meaning you could shave your nether regions the length of an entire match if you wanted. You can get a wide range of packages and products at manscaped.com. What's more, you can get 20% off and free delivery using our code Anfield20 at manscaped.com. Celebrate the new season of the beautiful game with your newly beautiful balls and face. I don't know why they're saying newly beautiful. My face is always beautiful. Look at it. It's amazing. Shouldn't the heading read 5 million for Phillips rather than 50 million? Said Boom Boom. Look, very fair point. Calvin Phillips, well, he was at Leeds. If he had to come to Liverpool, I think a few of us would have been underwhelmed by it, but we would have understood it, right? I don't see the point of bringing in Calvin Phillips now. I think he's 26 years of age. He's had a season where he's basically sat on the bench for Manchester City. And I don't understand why we would spend that much money for a substitute. And that's what he would be at Liverpool, because I don't think he'd play enough. So let's not help Manchester City free up £50 million worth of cash when I don't think he would be worth anywhere near 50 million quid. I just don't see it. So for me, I don't like these links, and I also don't believe them, because if you read through all the stories linking Calvin Phillips to Liverpool, loads of them come out with the same idea of, well, he's going to want to get himself playing so he can get into Gareth Southgate's plans ahead of the next Euros. Fair enough, but that's not our problem. Liverpool don't have to help him do that. And he's not worth £50 million. Nowhere near worth £50 million. And I'm actually astonished that there are some people who think that we should be looking at him. I don't get it. Maybe before City bought him, he could have made an argument, but not now. Not now, not after he spent a year sitting on his backside. It's bad enough that we're considering it with Gravenberch, but at least we can say he's younger. Klopp feels he can continue to develop Gravenberch, and he is significantly cheaper. So Gravenberch, I can understand. Calvin Phillips, not having it. I'm not having it. He's 28 in December. Yeah, for 50 million quid. Nah, you're alright, Pep. You can keep him. What is the Phillips crap? 27-year-old, can't get a kick at City, only played a total of 290 minutes for them. This is not my debate, mate. This isn't my story. I'm just bringing you guys what the likes of TalkSport and that are saying, and I'm going to go through it for you so you know I'm not just making it up. Fabrizio Romano has said, Calvin Phillips is on Liverpool's list and they know the conditions of the deal. Player wants to fight for his place at Manchester City. Come here to me, Fabrizio. No, he isn't. He isn't on the list. And why would we want somebody on the list who wants to stay at another club? This is once again Fabrizio, in my opinion, talking out his hoop. There is no interest in Liverpool signing Kalvin Phillips. There isn't. He's not coming to Liverpool. Let's not even try and put this out there. But Liverpool are considering a move, said Alex Crook, and then I don't again believe that. Why would we? It doesn't make sense. Our owners are scabby. They're not going to spend 50 million on somebody who's turning 28 this year. You already heard Jurgen Klopp tell them how much he had to work to convince them to allow him to sign Endo. Somebody who's 2 years older, somebody who is significantly cheaper, and Klopp still had to discuss with the owners why they need to break their structure to sign Endo at 16.5 million. So again, the common sense aspect of all of this seems to be severely lacking. Doesn't make any sense to me why they think we're going to spend 50 million quid. Would I take Phillips on loan? No, because then we're admitting as a club that that's where we're at. We're begging for loans. So no, mate, I'm not going to accept Phillips on loan either. Because Liverpool shouldn't be nickel and diming this. Liverpool should be getting the best players for the positions we need. And look, I understand if Klopp doesn't want to specialise number 6 now, with Endo there, with Bajcetic there, and with a possible move for Andre in January. Get it, no problem with that whatsoever. And if Klopp feels he wants Decore, Gravenberch, I can get on board with that. But I can't get on board with Kalvin Phillips. His day has been and gone in my humble opinion. I'm not sold on Decore, said Alex Brooks. Well, I don't know what to say to that, mate. Look, I'm not going to sit here, Alex, and tell you that I know all about Decore. I've watched them religiously. I haven't, man. I've watched bits and pieces of them, and I've read up on some stuff on them. And I'm just sound about it because Premier League player, 23 years of age, Palace's Player of the Year. I mean, you can understand it. But yeah, I get you. If you're not sold on them, that's fair enough. But there's a huge differential in valuations between what we'd pay for Decore and again what we'd probably pay for Bayern, or pay Bayern for Gravenberch. Let's wait and see what happens. But last night the media was saying that Decore was still the #1 target. Today I wake up and James Pearce has written an article that said that Liverpool aren't looking for a specialised number 6 or a specialised defensive midfielder after signing Endo. So again, it's hard to read between the lines and figure out what we do want. Because if we're moving away from a specialist number 6, which again I totally understand, then you surely got to revisit the likes of Thuram, Kone, obviously Gravenberch to be in that mix, and a few more players. So if we're widening the search from not just a defensive midfielder to a versatile midfielder, this gives us surely a far bigger scope to look. Do we speak about Kone? And on Kone, actually, this is from the Echo if you want to have a read of it yourself, but they're quoting a direct quote from Mönchengladbach. They go on to say that he's been 22-year-old, been linked with a move to Anfield in recent months. However, after suffering a serious knee injury at the Under-21 European Championships back in June, Kone has yet to resume full training and has seen as a big money switch from Borussia fall through since. Goes on, blah, blah, blah. And then they were talking about, back in Germany, speaking to Bild, Verkus, who is, I believe, one of the directors or the manager or something at Sporting, or at Borussia Mönchengladbach, sorry. He said, we don't have to sell him. But it was always like this. If there's another immense offer, then we have to think about it, but not the plan. Our plan is to keep Kone. Kone is a player who is something different. He gives your team a better balance in midfield. He's coming back after the international break, and he's very important to us. A tough, intelligent footballer. We need stability in this position. So they don't look like they want to sell him, but we all know the financial situation at Mönchengladbach means that if anybody comes in with a serious offer, he probably would be able to move on. So, do you remember yesterday I said to you guys, Spanish media love to link Liverpool to their players and then tell us they're not available? Remember that conversation we had literally yesterday? Well, guess what? According to Nacional, Liverpool are giving up all hopes of signing Real Madrid midfielders. Or no, Liverpool are to give up all hope. Sorry. They're saying that Liverpool are being told, no hope. You cannot have Federico Valverde and Arlian Tchouameni. They claim that Jurgen Klopp wanted to sign at least one of the two midfielders, with Valverde valued at £111 million. Very fucking specific number, that, isn't it? £111 million. It's almost like that's the number we bid for Caicedo. It's almost like you've pulled that out your backside, Nacional. However, This is too much apparently for the Anfield club, who have also been left in the lurch by the duo, and they say that Sofian Amrabat is a much more likely target. No, he isn't, because he's not a fucking target. Stop talking shit. Amrabat has already been turned down, clearly been posted everywhere. Again, stop trying to make up stories to make Real Madrid look good. Liverpool came, they tried to take our players, but Florentino Perez and the might of Real Madrid managed to keep them at bay. Look at us, aren't we great? It's just getting boring. Stop linking us to players that none of us expect to sign. None of us. Klopp will stick to only Endo to try and prove a point. His underdog fetish now, is it? And stubbornness is threatening to undo all of his good work. So, Thomas, thank you for your super chat. I slightly disagree with you, mate. And look, he does love an underdog, but I'm not going to argue with you on that. I mean, even in the article on The Athletic I read, they reference Klopp's love of Rocky and how much he loves an underdog story. But you know what? I agree with Klopp on this one. I agree that this is the right signing. And I'm very happy that we did it. So for me, I don't have a problem with it. Endo was available. Klopp got him. It fills the void that we have in the number 6 position for the next 2 or 3 years. And let's give him an opportunity before saying that Klopp's fetish for bargains and underdogs is what did it. No, Klopp just wanted the player and made an exception for the age thing. So we signed him and let's give him a chance. I don't understand the negativity around this signing. Surely if he works, and he works for a few years, and he does the position and plays it well, we've solved that problem, right? I don't get this. Like, let's leave the lad settle in. I think Endo's going to be just fine. And we'll go from there. Someone said in the chat we should have 90 left. It depends what you think about the situation with Andre. Like, if we're all in agreement that the plan is to go in for Andre in January at 17 million, then you can pretty much take 35 million for the Andre and Endo transfers of Liverpool's 110, let's say, that was there for Caicedo. And that brings you down to 75 million, which if you brought in Gravenberch and a centre-back, you've nearly spent that. So let's wait and see if it gets spent. But I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little bit tetchy, because days can just drift by here with nothing happening. And the closer it gets to the end of the window, the bigger the risk it is. You know, we've seen deals fall through already for us this window twice. So it is, I understand the nervousness. I totally get it, because I'll be a liar if I told you I wasn't feeling it. Do you reckon we can win the league? I'm not expecting it, Tom. But I tell you what, it's there to be won. So if anybody can put themselves a run at the start of this campaign and build up a lead, I don't see Manchester City being anywhere near as strong as they have been in recent years. So it's a great chance for Arsenal. Maybe an outside chance for us if we can put something together. Although we do have a tricky start. Newcastle up next. Aston Villa obviously hadn't already played away to Chelsea. You know, some difficult games for us to kick off the campaign. But if we can get points on the board while De Bruyne is out, honestly, I think somebody could sneak themselves a Premier League title this year. Do I think it's going to be us? Ask me again in a couple of weeks, mate, when we've played these few games. If we can leave St James's Park with a win, I might be a believer then. So James Pearce, speaking about the club's current stance on additions before the window closes, this is what he's had to say. As things stand, Liverpool don't intend to recruit another specialist number 6 this summer. Another sign of how highly Klopp regards Endo. He's been bought to start matches, with Stefan Bajcetic returning to matchday squad on Saturday after 5 months out injured. The teenager is viewed as a suitable alternative in that role. What Liverpool are still in the market for, however, is another multifunctional midfielder. They're having a long-standing interest in Ryan Gravenberch, but Bayern Munich's stance all summer has been that he isn't for sale. If Bayern's position changes, then they are prepared to consider offers, then Liverpool would be part of that conversation. Again, this interest in Gravenberch has been there for a while, but United have also been mentioned again, and I do wonder if maybe reuniting with Erik ten Hag would be something that he'd like to do, or do you think maybe Gravenberch would prefer to go and work with Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool? I don't know how good his relationship was with ten Hag, truly haven't got a clue, but I know that ten Hag did a great job at Ajax, and Gravenberch was part of that Ajax team that probably should have made it to do better things, or certainly under Erik ten Hag, Ajax probably should have been in the Champions League final. I don't know how they didn't win that Spurs game. Wait, so we're not focused on getting the M, but another Szoboszlai type? No, not a Szoboszlai type, Ben. So Szoboszlai is what I would class as an 8/10. Same with McAllister. But what we're looking for is a 6/8. So somebody who can operate a bit deeper, somebody who can play in the centre, somebody like a Gravenberch who maybe be able to pick a pass and open the defence, somebody like a Kefren Thuram. Dare I say it, and I haven't mentioned his name in a while, but somebody like a Barella would be absolutely delicious. But again, age profile for Barella probably goes against them. So on Endo, James Pearce has been speaking and he said Klopp had to convince the owners that Endo, who has been used to fighting relegation with Stuttgart, was worth deviating from the club's usual transfer policy of targeting younger players. So again, this is very, very much a Jurgen Klopp signing, which is why I'm very convinced, because I think this is just going to be a very clever, astute signing for us that Jurgen has spearheaded there. You do have to ask a couple of questions. Why are we allowing it to go so late in the window? That's one of the questions I'd have around not just the Core, but anybody we're looking to sign now, between now and the end of the window. The question, and it's a fair one, is why are we doing it this late? For years we've heard and been told what Klopp wants, which is players in early and the business done as early as possible. Now, Henderson and Fabinho moved on quite a while ago now. So why is it taking this long? Because when you go so late, yes, occasionally clubs can change their mind and a player can become available, but it's a high risk strategy from Liverpool to leave it this late. And if you're Palace and you're Steve Parish, their chairman, of course you're going to go, we don't want to sell him. He was our player of the year. And if anybody wants him, the number is going to be something very, very high. Let's say 70 million. And then Liverpool have a decision to make. Which is why I think they're waiting to hear if Bayern are willing to sell Gravenberch, because that would be a cheaper solution, basically, and one that I wouldn't be as convinced by. Gravenberch, you're buying potential. The Core, you're buying a hero now, Premier League tested player.